let me make just a couple of quick announcements, and that is more and more of you are becoming CD subscribers. For $30 a month, you will get 2 CDs a week of our 2-hour program. Here's the number to call, 763-493-3010, 763-493-3010. And you can pass those CDs on to others who need a little bit of the truth, which, by the way, is the total purpose of Understanding the Times. This will be our 13th conference since 2002. And we're just simply trying to equip you to understand the times, contend for the faith, and become watchmen on the wall. We cover all sorts of topics and current events and how they relate to the Bible. You can also do that through my print newsletter. If you're not in our database, you are going to receive, if you'll call that same number and request Understanding the Times print journal, which is 5 times a year, you'll get a free $20 DVD as well. 763-493-3010. Call right now or call Monday through Friday business hours. You are listening to Understanding the Times Radio. This is not taxpayer funded. It is listener supported radio. I am Jan Markell, your host. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes with Gary Ka. His contact information, garyka.org.
A reminder to Radio Archive listeners and podcasters that the Understanding the Times radio show is totally listener-supported. We air on several radio stations, which allows us to bring our programming to you. Would you consider a tax-deductible donation to Olive Tree Ministries for the radio outreach? You can send a check to Box 1452, Maple Grove, Minnesota, 55311. That's Box 1452, Maple Grove, Minnesota, 55311. You can also donate and order safely online at olivetreeviews.org or call 763-493-3010. And thanks for partnering with this ministry committed to helping you understand the times and contend for the faith.
God has given us victory, so now we come and stand before the Lord in one accord, giving thanks for His mighty hand. He has given us the
Welcome back to Jan Markell's Understanding the Times. Here's Jan Markell.
Thank you for joining me for part 2 of this hour. I know you're busy running to and fro. We appreciate every minute that you can spend with us. Let me just quickly say, because so many stations are getting this in half-hour segments or just 1 hour of our broadcast, all programming is now posted to my website, Olive Tree Views, Views and Viewpoint, olivetreeviews.org. Late Sunday, yes, we've moved it up a day. Late Sunday, olivetreeviews.org. All radio programming from the weekend, the full 2 hours, is available for you there, as well as for podcasters if you want to check out the iTunes situation. Now, let us move on, in that we have so much to cover, and we have not a whole lot of time left, but we're going to get a lot in. Gary, you wanted to pick up on something I said as we went into the break, so go ahead.
Right. Regarding Europe and the influence that, the increasing influence it is having over the United States when it comes to globalization, and the fact that it really is the main power in the world that's driving us in this direction. Back in April, there was a meeting of the G20 in London, and there was a joint communique issued that essentially announced a global economic union with uniform regulations and bylaws for all nations, including the United States. And this did not get a lot of attention in the media, probably because they realized that Americans would react negatively to it. As a result of what took place at that meeting, our SEC, the Commodities Trading Commission, Federal Reserve Board, and other regulators will have to march to the beat of drums pounded by the Financial Stability Board. People need to remember that name. It's a very powerful group of people, the Financial Stability Board. They're a body of central bankers from each of the G20 states and the European Union. Now, the head of the precursor to the board, which is called the Financial Stability Forum. The head of that group is Mario Draghi, and that name is spelled D-R-A-G-H-I, Mario Draghi. He is arguably the most influential person in the mix on economics worldwide. He is the head of Italy's central bank. And he's delighted, by the way, of the direction that Obama is taking us in. In fact, in a speech back in February, he noted that, and I quote, "The progress we have made in revising the global regulatory framework would have been unthinkable just months ago," end quote. And he was clearly elated. Now, regarding the Financial Stability Forum and now the offshoot of that, the Financial Stability Board, it is composed of the central bankers of Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands, Singapore, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and the United States, plus representatives of the World Bank, the European Union, the IMF, and the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. But in summary, Europe has 6 of the 12 national members on this board. The United States, with a gross domestic product 3 times that of the next largest G20 member, which is Japan, will have only 1 vote. So Europe has 6 votes. We have 1 vote. And these guys are now basically running the world financially. Everything important emanates from them. This is a huge development that took place just this year, and that piece has been put in place. And once people understand that Europe's got 6 on that board and the United States only has 1, it becomes clear who's calling the shots.
You made a comment to me on the phone the other day, Gary Kopp, and that is that the globalists overseas are concerned that people in America are waking up too fast. Obviously, we've seen a tremendous giant awakened here in America in the last 3-4 months because of excessive spending, health care, and so forth here in America. And the economic crisis is the best way to move people towards change. And you even suggested to me that the stock market could go as low as 2,000, and that is, let me back up, that is if these foreign countries that are pumping money into us get discouraged and say, well, sort of nuts to America, let her go down. Am I right there?
Yes, and I'm not making a prediction on that. I'm just saying this could happen. And during my travels in Europe, and also a few people I've spoken to back here in the United States that are well plugged in, are saying that as well, that if the United States does not go along with the New World Order and does not permit Obama to take our nation where the globalists overseas want us to go, then at some point that pressure will be applied. They already own so much of us, and I don't have time to go into that right now, but at the conference I will. I will give actual statistics of the percentage of our U.S. industries that are already foreign-owned. It will blow people's minds. It's unbelievable, even our utility companies. And so they can apply more and more pressure as they see fit. And you have to understand, too, some of these foreign companies are countries that are run by, for the most part, by their national governments overseas. So you've got powerful people now exerting a tremendous amount of influence and pressure in the United States, and we haven't fully felt that pressure yet, but what I'm saying is in the future we might. So again, we are between a rock and a hard spot, and I just wish we wouldn't be in debt the way that we are, but at some point we're going to have to pay up, and we owe money to a lot of foreign powers, and they're using the leverage that they have over us to try to force us in the direction that they want to go in. It's that simple.
Well,